Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting for Bedford Township for October 6, 2020. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Phil Goldsmith, if you don't mind opening us up in prayer.
Thank you. Be my pleasure. Father in heaven, we thank you for the wonderful and beautiful day you have given us. Thank you for the community that we live in. I would now pray for wisdom, discernment, and decision-making for each of the board members as we go through tonight's agenda. We also pray for and remember all of our first responders, our police officers and firefighters. We pray your blessings and upon them. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 3, the consent agenda, or actually item number 2, the approval of the agenda. I look for a motion for the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Support.
Okay, motion and supported by Ms. Janizek. Discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Hirschberger, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item number 3 is the consent agenda. The agenda committee recommends to A, approve and place on file the minutes of the September 15th, 2020 regular meeting of the Bedford Township Board.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion and supported by Ms. Janizek. Discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Hirschberger, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Up next is presentations. Dr. Kojo Corte, President, Monroe Community College, is update on the Whitman Center. Dr. Kojo, thanks for being here. I don't know. I don't see it on the screen now.
I think he's the 4166.
Is this Dr. Kojo? I don't believe it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, good. Okay, Dr. Kojo, you're on.
Oh, am I already? Okay, thank you. Well, good evening, Supervisor Peroni and members of the Bedford Township, I believe, trustees. I just want to take a couple of minutes to just tell you about our efforts in South County as a community college. As you know, we are the only college in this county, and our purpose is to embrace the entire county and to do as much as we can to educate individuals in our county, in the entire county. And I believe, I don't know if Mary Kay, one of my board members who lives in Bedford, is on today. She should be on. And then Linda Talbot, who's our HR director, should be on this also by audio. So
I am.
And that likely, okay, very good. Is Mary Kay on also? All right. And I did send you some information in advance. We belong to the Bedford Business Association, and Paul Pinial and Lamar Rick and others know that I've been a part of the Women of Bedford United Tea event that they do every year, and it's always a pleasure serving tea and cake and other things to the Women of Bedford United. And so our intention had been this year to hire a full-time person for the Whitman Center. However, with COVID and the decreases in state funding, we were not able to do so. However, we have continued to shore up the place, and it's open. We still have Spring Arbor. There we have the ISD Transition Center there. And so we're open this fall. And we're in the process of conducting a survey to determine exactly what it is that Bedford wants from Monroe County Community College so we can provide it. And so that assessment is ongoing as I speak. With the funds that we received last time from the millage we won for years ago, we've installed an emergency generator. We've overhauled the security camera system, a key card system also, a new roof on the Whitman Center. While the roof has been restored, a new garage roof, tower exterior entryways have been repaired and painted, and we've done some structural remediation. There's a sinking in the middle of the building, so we've started to do that. And our intention with the additional funds from this renewal, which is a zero increase renewal, would be to continue with that structural remediation, renovate the interior to include some labs and some more attractive learning environments, a replacement of the flooring, renovation of the parking lot and the sidewalks, cleaning of the exterior, replacement of window seals and sealants, and the upgrade of the Whitman Center to an HVAC geothermal system, which we have here at the campus in Monroe. However, we don't have that at the Whitman Center, so our intention is to move to a geothermal system there. And then additional work that we're completing at this point in time is a unisex bathroom and continuing to monitor the building for settlement. So in a nutshell, that's some of what we want to do. And then in terms of academics, we've talked with Al and others in Bedford about perhaps having a co-working space. So individuals who don't have, who are starting their own business, entrepreneurs starting their own business may want to go there to utilize that space. There'll be resources available. There'll be office space available there for them. And then a criminal justice academy is something else that we are thinking about there at the Whitman Center. So there's a lot we have planned for South County. South County is a very viable part of who we are as a college. And my pledge since I've been here, I came here 7 years ago from the very beginning, was that we would keep that place open and make it even more viable. And with your help, we can do that. And the information I sent to you was to simply ask your support as we move forward with this renewal of our millage. And we realize, if nobody else does, I realize that without South County and Bedford, we at Monroe County Community College would not be as successful as we have been as an institution. And of course, you do have students from Bedford who go to the Bedford High School, go to the Whitman Center, as well as to the campus in Monroe. So we're providing education here at a lower cost. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it's the very best education you can find at any community college here in Michigan. We're ranked #1 by Wallace Health, and our nursing program, as an institution, we're ranked #1, and our nursing program is also ranked #1. So with that, I'm simply here to seek your support. If you have any questions for me, please feel free. I don't know, Mary Kay, are you on?
Coach Joe, while
Okay.
you're waiting for her, I just want to say, I know I can speak for the whole board and say that we appreciate your efforts so much with the efforts you're putting into the community center over here in Bedford Township. It's a huge economic development for us. You guys could have closed the community college. What was that, 5-6 years ago? Some discussions were happening.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You chose to move forward and bring it back to life and really make it a place that we can all be proud of. And I'm super proud of the work you guys are doing over there and the things that are happening. And I know it's only the start of some good things to come. So I appreciate you and all the work you're doing.
Much more to come. Much more to come. That's my pledge to you.
Anybody else have
any
anything
questions?
they'd like to add? Or if not, I appreciate you being on, Kojo, and we'll continue to work together, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, have
Thanks, Dr.
Have a
Pujol.
good evening.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, moving on to item number 5 is public comment. Comments limited to 2 minutes for board agenda items only. George, did you say you had calls? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, moving on to staff reports. Approval to purchase 12 additional dual EBSS manifolds pouches for Scott 4.5 self-contained breathing apparatus. Chief Massengill.
Yeah, good evening. This is a continuation of upgrades, safety upgrades for our SCBA, our air packs that we were on our backs when we're in house fires or in smoke. In 2014, the packs did not come with these upgrades. We've been systematically trying to include them or retrofit our packs so that we've got the ability to share air if one of our members gets in trouble inside a fire with another firefighter or a partner that's inside there. So this is just a continuation or moving forward with trying to bring all of our air packs up to an acceptable safety standard.
Any comments or questions for the chief?
Mr. Supervisor?
I
Go ahead.
I called Chief today because I wanted to verify with quote that it was still good because it was dated through August 23rd, and he did say that it was still good, that the prices were still the same.
Correct.
Mr. Steiner?
Chief, just another question. I was going to ask the same thing about the length of the quote, but also I know it can't be real expensive, but I do see it says freight terms prepay and add. So does that mean they're going to add freight charges on top of the total bill of $89.88 that we don't know what those are?
I don't believe so. With the previous ones, the freight's been included. So.
Okay.
The pouches, each pouch weighs about a half a pound each. It's not a big
small.
freight.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very small. So
Okay.
the entire thing's going to be 10, 12 pounds maybe.
Okay. Yeah. With that said, if nobody else has any questions, I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Premier Fire Rescue for the 12 CBA apparatus for the price of $749 per unit, with a total cost of $8,988 as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion in support of Ms. Januzak. Discussion? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Hershberger, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Ms. Januzak?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. George, is Miss Gail Keen still on? She called a little bit late, but we can let her get a public comment if she'd still like to. Okay. Miss Keen, you there?
Hello?
There she is. Go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, I had a question for, this is Gail Kane, 1056 West Temperance. My question is relative to Dr. Kojo. I realized that I was part of keeping the college open back when we were having some issues. And I know that a primary thing is to capture the students that want to take classes from Ohio. But my question now regarding that is I remember back at about 4 years ago, I'd have to look into my notes and information, but we had this big, huge ribbon cutting. and it was all relative to some cybersecurity center that Bedford Township started over there at the college. And I was wondering just whatever happened to that, and I had hoped to catch Dr. Kojo on that. So if any of the other board members, I'm more than willing to call him. I have no problems. I know him. To ask him that, but I was curious as to exactly what happened to that or where it was. So if anybody on the board can speak to it, that would be fine. That's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Have a great night. Okay, moving on, George, to unfinished business. We have none. 8, new business, vouchers for payment. Mr. Hirschberger?
I'd like to make a motion for the following vouchers to be approved for payment. General fund in the amount of $83,048.96. Fire district, $33,827.26. Police fund, $137.09. Park operating fund, $30,786.10. Library operating fund, $1,839.12. Stonegate SAD, $10,816.33. Sewer O&M, $1,365.79. Trust and agency fund, $475, for a grand total of $162,295.65.
Support.
Okay, motion is supported by Ms. Januzak. Discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Hirschberger, could you please call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Janusek?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. 8B, approval of the 2020 streetlight assessment resolution. Ms. Hirschberger?
This is the resolution that is brought before the board every year to approve. These are streetlights in subdivisions that the subdivision residents pay on their winter tax bill. If there's no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the 2020 streetlight assessments as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is supported by Mr. Steiner. Discussion? I just want to say we do get residents that live in subdivisions that are interested in converting their streetlights to LED. There are programs out there with, your electric company, and that would bring, your streetlight bill down. So just a thought. Mr. Steiner?
Just a quick comment. Ms. Hirschberger, the report we've got here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a new version that we see in the back of the report that gives even more detail than we've had in the past. And I do like the detail that's being presented there. Is that new or is it just me?
Some of it is new. The new finance manager has been going through reports and kind of fixing them up, and any deficiencies he sees, he's fixing those, trying to make it a little more legible for everyone and understanding.
Okay, great, because I know that's one thing we emphasized with him, that we want to see things like this. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Ms. Janusek?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item 8C, approve a resolution to amend the 2020-2021 general fund budget. That's Ms. Hirschberger.
So there are two items being amended on this. First one is I received a grant. I was shown a grant that I could go for elections, so I went and submitted it, and I did receive $9,376 in grant money that must be used towards elections. So this is a general fund budget adjustment to add those revenues in and then move them into the election fund so they can be used there like it's specified. And then the other part of this amendment is for the planning department, and I didn't know if Nancy wanted to speak on this portion about the $500 for postage for planning.
I can. Would you like me to?
Sure, if you'd like.
The Plan Commission has been reviewing zoning amendments to the master plan. And one of them is a change in the ag zoning, which this board will be seeing at, I think, maybe the next board meeting. I'm not sure if Trudy has enough time to get it on. But anyway, the point is, in either the next or the following board meeting, we will be asked to review and possibly adopt. The Planning Commission has put in many, many hours. We've reviewed this with our planner through Manikin Smith many different times. And it is a Ag 2 zoning. The question at the board meeting was, since there's so many parcels that are going to be affected by this zoning change, the discussion was whether or not we should send the change in the mail to those parcels. It's mostly going to enhance their zoning, but in some cases, people may not like to have the Ag 2. However, there was not a requirement that they be notified by mail, since it is an administrative rezoning. And so I mentioned that I would not want to have my property rezoned without any notice of it, even though the government has the opportunity and the legal ability to do that. I just thought that as a courtesy to the homeowners, that it should be done. And I don't know if a majority of the board agreed, but we decided to go ahead and do it. And as a result, Karen and Jody determined that they had not budgeted that much for postage. And so the additional postage, the additional amount in their budget is being requested, $500, to take care of being able to mail to each parcel affected the notice of change.
Mr. Steiner?
Just a couple comments, not so much questions. Trudy, nice job on the grant to get matching funds, so there's no impact at all for the township. As for the postage, I agree with Ms. Denvery that definitely we should be notifying the property owners. And one thing that was pointed out in the memo we received, so the audience can also know, is with this adjustment in the Ag 2 that they're proposing, any of the parcels that would be affected, they will not have any impact to the uses that they already are allowed to do on those specific properties. So from that standpoint, there's no actual impact, and they will be covered and will not have to reduce any activities per their current zoning.
Okay.
Well, this mailing is just to let them know that the public hearing is going to take place. Right. All of that discussion with regard to their parcel will be discussed at that public hearing, and then it will come to the board for the decision.
Right.
So
if it's passed, I should have stated, if it were to be passed, I should have stated it that way.
Ms. Jan, is that?
I do know that Karen came down and wanted to speak to me today because with our tax bills, we do a pre-sort mailing. And she did come down to our department and was questioning on the cost for pre-sort. And I do know that they are planning on pre-sorting the mailing. So, and it is at a cheaper rate. It's instead of 50 cents a mailing, it's like 46 cents a mailing. So that will save a little bit too.
Is there Ms. Tinneberry, do you know if there's an option for to utilize postcards to inform the residents?
Well, I'm sure there's an option, but it's not, I don't know that the postcard would be able to give sufficient information.
Okay. It's just a thought, because I know that's, 30 cents or it's 30 something cents. It's a lot cheaper, but okay.
But if you consolidate all the information to a postcard, they are going to be calling lots and lots of calls questioning what's going on.
Okay. If no other comments, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution amending the 2021 general fund budget as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion supported by Ms. Tenneberry. Discussion? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Hirschberger, please call the roll.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Andisek?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item 8C, approve a resolution to amend the 2021 special revenue fund budget. Ms. Hirschberger?
This is a resolution to amend the special funds revenue for sewer O&M, and I'm going to turn it over to Krista to explain the need.
Well, last year, the line item for office supplies was not used because our utilities clerk ordered an abundance of sewer bills a few years ago when there was talk about moving to monthly billing to possibly coincide with the water department. When that did not happen, she obviously had enough bills to last a few years. With that being said, the amount didn't get used for office supplies. Well, it's come to the time where she now needs to order postcards for her sewer mailing, and we do not have enough in the office supplies budget. So I'm requesting to change it from $1,000 back up to the $2,700 for the supplies. We did get a quote from Help Printers that always prints our postcards, and that adjustment will meet what we need for the cost.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Krista, do you know what it runs approximately per year
Per year?
for our expenditures, so that can be moved forward in the next budget, so we make sure we get money in there every year?
Basically, for the sewer postcards for the year, it is about $2,650 for the postcards. And we have two sections that bill out a total of 8 times a year.
Okay, so if we could make sure we get, just if you flip a memo over to Mr. Miller and have him put that in his notes for the budget.
Absolutely. I can do that.
Yeah, I just have a question. My husband asked me if we deny this, then we don't have to get a sewer bill. Is that right?
No, we still have to get sewer bills, but.
Well, he may be in to see you tomorrow then.
Okay.
Okay, just curious.
I look for a motion.
I'll make the motion to amend the special revenue fund for line item office supplies from $1,000 up to $2,700 for the 2021 budget.
A second.
Okay, motion is supported by Mr. Steiner. Discussion? Seeing none, could you call the roll, please, Ms. Hirschberger?
Ms. Jandisak?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. 8E, approval to combine parcels 5802-590-037-00 and 5802-590-038-00 in the Packard Place plat. Ms. Tinneberry?
Me? This is a land division. The planning commission doesn't have anything to do with it. I agree with it. I support it. Is that what you want to know?
You want to take that one then, or do we all?
It's assessing.
Except this is a combination, not a division.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Anybody have any comments or questions?
I think the gentleman that owns the property was going to, he's on the phone in case anyone has questions for him.
There's somebody in there, George. I
Anybody
didn't have
have
a
any
question.
comments or questions for the applicant?
But I'll just make a statement that this is a pretty straightforward land combination, two contiguous parcels. Pretty simple with the zoning over there. It just makes one larger parcel. So like I said, pretty simple combination.
Sir, did you want to say anything or?
No, my wife and I have been residents here at Bedford Township for 37 years. All we want to do is just combine our residence parcel with the other parcel so we can build a pole barn.
Okay, very good. Okay, I look for a motion.
Mr. Supervisor? Oh, go ahead, Nancy.
No, I was just going to comment and tell the gentleman that we're glad he spent 37 years here. I hope he spends 37 more.
That's all?
That's it. Well, as many as he can.
Mr. Steiner?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the land combination request of the platted property, parcels 02-590-037-00 and parcel 02-590-038-00.
I'll support.
Okay, motion supported by Mr. Montry. Discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Hirschberg, please call the roll.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 8F, approval to transition a seasonal administrative assistant to part-time in the planning department. Ms. Hirschberger?
This is regarding Katrina Ingram. She is working right now as a seasonal employee. We talked about her at the budget. And with Karen's retirement coming up March or April, we wanted to bring Katrina on as a part-time employee to get her in the department a little more, working a little more with Jody and Karen. So when Karen does retire, then we can bring Katrina up to full time to replace Jody, who would replace Karen.
Okay, any comments or questions from Ms. Hirschberger?
I'm sorry, we're using the rate of pay, the $15.39, which is what we pay anyone moving to part-time. It's the same rate.
Okay. Ms. Tinneberry?
Yeah, just a couple questions. Do I understand that she was first hired as seasonal in August of 19?
Correct.
So she's been there 1 year, a little over 1 year.
Correct.
I'm curious. I look at her education and background, and she has a degree in early childhood. I can't understand why somebody in early childhood would go to work in government, but makes sense to me. But she has no experience in planning, except, well, a year. I mean, has she had any training?
She did have some training outside. I'm not sure where that was. Not sure if it's in her application, but she has been here for a year. The girls, both myself, Karen, and Jody did interviews, and they did choose her. They thought she would be a great candidate, someone that would keep in the position, not use this as a stepping stone or anything like that. And she has been working out very well and catching on. She told me, and Karen did write a memo to go along with this also that's included.
Mm-hmm. I did see that. It was just odd to me that when you go to school to get a degree that she hadn't continued on with that degree. But as I said, coming to work in government, if she can handle kindergartners and nursery school kids, I'm sure she could handle government. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Comments or questions? Mr. Steiner?
Just one comment that we should put out there that if we do pass this, move this person from seasonal to part-time, I know, Trudy, you've got a succession plan discussion going. Just so everybody knows, there's no guarantees of these specific people moving into these positions until it's decided by this board or the next board.
Correct.
Okay, that's all.
Okay, any more comments or questions? Seeing none, I look for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we transition Katrina Ingram from seasonal to part-time in the planning department at a rate of $15.39 per hour with a maximum work week of 35 hours.
Support.
Okay, motion supported by Ms. Januzak. Discussing? Seeing none, could you call the roll, please?
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Januzak?
Aye.
Ms. Tinneberry?
Aye.
Mr. Steiner?
Aye.
Mr. Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Peroni?
Aye, the motion passed 7-0. Item 8G, discussion on a designated assessor. Ms. Tinneberry?
Yeah, when this came through on the email, as you all have known for nearly 4 years now, I'm not a person to make a decision or offer my agreement or disagreement through an email. I knew that this was coming down from the state and that the requirement was going to be that the county actually and each local governmental unit would have to make a decision on this. So I wanted it to be put on the agenda, not for a decision tonight, because I do know that the County Board of Commissioners are, they have this on their agenda and they're wanting to designate Mike Wolford as the designated assessor for the county, which I think is a proper and appropriate, a great idea. But because the trustees don't get all of that inside information, I thought it was important that the trustees received this in their packet to read over and determine what it's all about. To me, it's just one more way that the state is trying to get their hands in local assessing and not necessarily agree with that, but TC will have to take that, take my disagreement back to the state level in January. So I just wanted this to be an information for at least the trustees to be able to read up and see what's going on and know what's coming down the pike. And again, probably at our next board meeting, we will be required to make some kind of a motion as to whether we agree or disagree for the county's designated assessor.
Mr. Steiner? You're muted.
There's definitely a lot of reading in detail in the packet that was submitted. One of the things that I definitely would like to see when this does come back to the board, it does state in here that there will be costs associated with this, and some of those costs are going to be passed back onto the township. And I would hope that if they're going to present this to us, they need to tell us what those costs are, because we're not going to support a blind, number and then just write a blank check every time. So that needs to get back to them, that they have to spell that out exactly and the first year and what they plan on subsequent years, whether they're going to do general increases, 2%, 3% a year or what. So we can have that in our budget process. Other than that, we're going to be doing budget adjustments every time.
Sounds good. Any more comments or questions? Okay. All right, moving on to comments from the public. And while we're waiting for comments from the public, we'll go comments from board members. Ms. Tinneberry?
You don't want me to do it now. I got lots.
Okay, Mr. Montroy?
I guess only comment I really have, and don't really have anything prepared, but a thought I had is with the Supreme Court finally telling everybody what everybody already knew, that the governor's orders were 100% unconstitutional. I know that there's new stuff being laid down, but I don't know if Phil wants to speak on that regarding us going back to real meetings rather than these. But that's the only comment I had.
Well, while you're talking about that, I have it in my notes to talk about. I did call MTA. We are not allowed to do virtual meetings anymore after that was struck down. But with the new orders coming from our governor, I'm not sure. That's something I'll be putting another call into MTA. But yeah, we'll go from there.
Does another organization think that if they say the exact same thing that the governor said, that all of a sudden it's no longer unconstitutional?
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead with the caller, George. Hello, go ahead. State your name and address.
Hi, this is Lamar Frederick, 3254 Deer Creek Drive. 3 issues. Number one, we haven't heard anything about the grievance yet. It's a pretty simple grievance. Either there's a responsibility for what is set forth in it, or there isn't. Number two, I've been keeping pretty close track, as I said recently, on the budget process. The state fiscal agency published in August this year that the revenue sharing to the cities, villages, and townships would approximate what was received last year. That would mean Bedford Township would be entitled to about $2.8 million, more or less. The budget that was put together is $1.7 million. However, you also took $500,000 out of the rainy day fund, or to balance the budget. So if in fact there is $1 million more that might come down the pike, then it seems to me the first step would be to replace the rainy day fund with the $550,000 more or less that you used to balance the budget. Next, the assessing department. If we're going to have, I've read the stuff, Ms. Tinbury, thank you for putting it on the agenda, because it's important. The assessing department, I really think that we should make a close look at it. I know Mr. Montry heaped great praise on them last week, but at the same time, are they doing the reappraisals that are required to be done on an annual basis and over a 4 or 5 year period? Because clearly, if that is not being done, you may well be out of compliance with this compliance language that's in this document relatively soon. So again, just some oversight by the board on the assessing department might be appropriate. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Have a great night. Okay, Mr. Montry, are you done with your comments? You're muted.
There we go. Yeah, that's all I had. I was trying to unmute myself, but yeah.
Okay. Mr. Steiner? You're muted.
What? Must be mute night. Anyway, just a couple things. I just want to, again, as I do many times throughout the year, just ask the public, it's starting to get darker. The days are getting shorter, and I've been starting to see an increase in accidents happening around the township, and I know some of it seems to be happening more toward those dusk and dark hours. So if we could get the public to please just slow down, pay more attention, and definitely not text and drive, that would be a great help. Second thing I wanted to ask tonight is we did receive some more correspondence from a lady in Prairie Woods regarding the issue of trucks being parked and business operating out of the subdivision. And I was just going to ask Mr. Goldsmith if he could give us any updates as to where we stand, because I know the courts sort of have this in limbo still. That's all.
Go ahead, Mr. Goldsmith.
Did you want me to comment on that, Mr. Supervisor?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Comment.
Sure. With respect to the Prairie Wood lawsuit, it is pending in court. And I advised you that before the complaint was filed quite some time ago. The process was perfected and it is now pending in circuit court. There had been some measure of compliance by the defendant in that lawsuit. I was disappointed to learn last week when Rick, when you and others brought it to my attention and provided photographic evidence that heavy equipment had been brought back in. So that was brought to the attention of the attorney representing that individual. But we will be in court soon. COVID slowed court hearings down considerably, but we'll be in the courtroom on that case very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Goldsmith.
You're welcome.
You all set, Mr. Steiner?
Yes, I'm good for this evening.
Ms. Tinver, you ready? Or would you like me to move on to
I'm
Mr.
ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. Actually, Craig's comment was partly mine. The email that we received from MTA states that the executive orders cannot be enforced at this time. It also says that we, like you already commented, we are not supposed to be having virtual meetings. The number of people is not limited. So, I mean, the information we get is true, factual, and honest. So I don't know how the attorney could come up with anything other than what we have been informed upon. I insist that we begin having open meetings and in person. Of course, you know what my insistence means, absolutely nothing. Also, I had sent some information to the Monroe County Road Commission. I've been getting several complaints from people about the speed at the Secor Stearns intersection with all the curb cuts and the new businesses going in there on Stearns Road. People in the Colonial subdivision are afraid to come out onto the Stearns Road portion. They go all the way around to get out because they can't get out. Even though there's a stoplight at Monroe Road, the people blow through there. The people are speeding by the time they get to Colonial. And my response from Janine Abar, the traffic engineer, was, I mean, I know she's saying what she has to say, but this just doesn't make sense to me. It says driveway access information collected supports the 45-mile-an-hour posting. 2020 speed traffic information was collected and shows that people are traveling faster than the speed limit that is currently in place. Police enforcement could be used to try to reduce the speeds to the posting currently in place, but they cannot change the speed limit because people are traveling at or higher than the speed. Totally, it makes absolutely no sense because you can only go 25 miles in a residential subdivision or any residential area because there's so many driveways, people coming in and out. They have it 35 miles an hour between Secor, between Stearns Road and Summerfield. Well, actually all the way down to Conseer. That's 35 miles an hour, but people who are coming in and out of gas stations, Kroger store, Wendy's, whatever, they can go 45 or higher. So I'm requesting that at least myself and maybe the supervisor sit down with the state police, the county road commission, and the township, somebody from the township, to discuss this. That's their that's their reasoning, and I understand that's what they've always gone by for years, but it just makes no sense to me why accidents can happen because the speed limit is 45 miles an hour coming up to a stoplight. So I'm requesting a meeting with a state police patrolman, whoever does that, Janine from the road commission, and a township official.
Nancy, can I add to your comment?
Oh, please do.
You're absolutely right, Nancy, and I know that it's been stated before, when they do traffic studies, you could have an area that's 25 or 30 miles per hour speed limit, and if the study shows that people are going 35, 40, 45, there's a good chance that they are actually going to increase the speed limit instead of drop it, and I agree 100%. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Exactly. Thank you.
Let me tell you guys how we solve this problem. The DDA is aware of this. We're working on it. The way to solve the problem is to slow the traffic down. We need to add lights at the Kroger entrance on Stearns Road. We need to add lights at the Quail Hollow entrance on Secor Road. That right there will slow traffic down because there's more lights. We went after a grant for that and did not receive it. So we'll be trying for another grant this year, but Nancy, I agree with you. Something can be done. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, the 8 years I was at the road commission, that's not going to go. It's not going to be any more agreeable because of the nearness of stop go traffic. Adding lights is not going to be accepted by the Monroe County Road Commission, and probably not by the state police. There's no reason why we have to add lights there. That just causes more congestion because people are waiting at lights to turn left into Kroger when other people are going. It's just, you have to add laneage. I'm not in favor of adding lights, but I do want to have a meeting to find out what, and besides, the DDA doesn't have that authority. It's the township board that has that authority. The DDA manages the money, but they don't have any authority to control traffic.
But they do have authority to go after grants and spend money. And if you are concerned about traffic lights going there, you should give your concerns to them, because we are going after those grants. And if we receive them, the road commission knows about those grants, and they were all for us going for them. So, I mean, I'm just saying that, they do have authority to spend money. And I mean, they're getting the work done at Secor and Stearns right now without board approval. So, I mean, they don't need board approval. They're getting the roads. That was a match on the DDA's end to get the roads fixed in that area.
No, the roads is just spending money. It's not changing any law. Okay, then my other comment was, I did want to hear about the tall grass. And I just wanted to thank those who had the budget adjustments put on the board before the spending occurred or the money was received. That's the way to do it. You do it before you spend the money and you get the budget adjustment. So thank you.
Mr. Goldsmith, while we're talking about board meetings, with the court ruling, we're no longer allowed to have virtual meetings. And then with the governor's change, I mean, where are we at with this? Is that something that you know off the top of your that you know already, or is it something I need to look into?
I can provide you guidance. I agree with the comments concerning the meetings. This, I think, will be our last virtual meeting, and that is dictated in large part by the Open Meetings Act. The governor, through her executive orders, which have been determined to be unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, did alter the Act and allowed it. So, that's virtual because the Open Meetings Act.
Hold on 1 second. Nancy, can you mute yourself? Go ahead, Phil.
Sure. Because the Open Meetings Act, absent a valid executive order, requires a quorum to be present at a physical location. So, having said that, and then you probably have seen the emergency order signed by the director of the Department of Health and Human Services, and that relates to health-related items. That doesn't pertain to the OMA. That director cannot enter an order that would alter the Open Meetings Act. So next meeting, we will have to have in person at the Township Hall. With respect to the emergency order under MCL 333.2253, the director of the Department of Health and Human Services does have jurisdiction over health-related items. And so in that order, the meeting at the Township Hall, people who attend would need to wear masks, face coverings, unless they fall under one of the designated exceptions, which primarily for our purpose would be an exemption for health-related problems. You can't wear a mask because of legitimate health-related problems. Actually, we're entitled to ask them if they have a health-related problem, but inquire no further. If they say they do, then they're not required to wear a mask during our public meeting. This health order entered by the director of the Department of Health and Human Services needs to be followed at our meeting, meaning there has to be social distancing and there has to be, based on square footage, there has to be a limit of the people that can actually be in the boardroom. I think we need to plan ahead and have an additional room in case we have more than will be allowed in the boardroom based upon this order. So that's my advice. We're back to face-to-face meetings, but we need to follow the order that's been entered by the director of the Department of Health and Human Services. If you don't have a copy of that, I can certainly furnish you a copy of that. That order, I believe, yes, it was signed last Friday. No, excuse me, this Monday, October 5th.
Okay, there you go, George. So, okay, moving on to Mr. Clemens.
So I had nothing, Mr. Supervisor, but based on Nancy's comment, I just wanted to say that I'm honored to think that I would be in a position come January to weigh in on assessing. Thank you very much, Nancy. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Janaszek.
I just want to thank you guys for everybody for approving the budget adjustment. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Well, that's the least we could do is give you the support you need to get the mailings out. Ms. Hertzberger.
Okay.
First, I had some employees call. They read the executive orders had been taken away and that we were going to come with meetings. So Phil, first off, planning asked me to ask you at the meeting is what happens with these notices that they have already sent out saying it's possible virtual meeting. Are those still going to be okay, or do they now have to send a second mailing out? Might want to think about that and get back with one of them.
I've already thought about it. I can respond to you now. And that way the public will know. There were many, many notices that went out. And so here's what I think we ought to do. The meeting will be held in person. I think we should ask, if it's acceptable to the board, to have George set that meeting up so that all those people who were notified that they could participate virtually would be allowed to participate virtually, but our planning commission will be there in person with a minimum quorum, and they'll be able to take action. The public will be invited to attend personally, but all those individuals who were advised that they could participate virtually should be allowed to participate virtually so that we don't have to renotice, republish, resend. That's how I would do it.
Hey, Phil, real quick on that. So do we need to have a door attendant for board meetings and planning meetings?
Well,
Because then you're going to have everybody coming up in the room. Who's going to monitor it?
Yeah, if you follow the emergency order that was signed into effect by the director of the Department of Health and Human Services, you almost have to. You have to monitor number, and you have to ask people entering the building to wear a mask. And if they can't wear a mask for a health reason, then people have to be notified this person is exempted from the mask requirement.
Okay, Trudy, can you let me know the times of the meetings that you need to have an attendant? I'll make sure we have one.
Okay, I can do that. Second question that I received from employees, Paul, maybe you can answer this. The blue lights that we approved to have installed, do we have any idea when those will be installed?
They're on back order. Everybody in the country's ordering these right now. I'm not exactly sure when they'll be in. We called and put another call into them today to find out, and they don't know yet.
Okay, I said I would ask, so.
Could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks, could be a month. They're ordered, so.
Okay. Next, I have absentee ballots. My office has been getting many, many calls about early voting. We don't have early, per se, voting in Michigan where you can go get a ballot and put it through a machine. We have absentee or mail-in ballots. So if someone comes to the township, you can get a ballot. You can vote that ballot at the township hall, but you will put it in an absentee ballot envelope and it will be submitted and it will not be open till election day. So I just wanted to clear that up for people. Also, many phone calls on split ticket voting. The general ballot is a lot different than a primary ballot. So you can do straight party and then go through and pick different people from other parties. You can do straight party and that will take care of the front and all of the partisan section there and part on the back. And then the nonpartisan, it will not take care of. You would have to choose after that. So there's a little confusion about split ticket. You can split this one. It's really hard to do anything that would make this ballot not count except overvoting. So if there's an issue that says do not vote for more than 3 and you vote 4, then just that area wouldn't count, but the rest of the ballot would count. So I just wanted to get that information out to the people. Then I have the new finance manager. We at this board asked for a 3-week and a 6-week. So I did that 3-week review with him, with Bob on Monday.
Excuse me, Trudy, that was 3 months.
I thought we did 3 weeks.
No, it's 3 months, 6 months.
Okay, well, we did a 3-week.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't tell you all the things that this man in this short period has done already. He's gone through boxes, he's cleaned things up, he has cleaned up reports, he is putting in extra time to get these reports cleaned up. He's getting reports out to the different departments. He's doing that on a weekly basis, and I'm just amazed already. I'm so glad that we made the choice to hire this man. He has made a huge difference already. And lastly, our audit has started. We have already been in contact with them. They said normally they would have a few auditors in here working with us, but since COVID, they said they would only have one, maybe a couple days. I don't know with our executive orders if that's going to change for them. I can only go by what they told me Monday. So that's all I have.
I will have to agree with Trudy. It's been a breath of fresh air having the reports and getting the information. Personally, I think it's going to be a smooth ride in there. So very good job on getting a new finance director. So Halloween, we're getting a lot of calls on Halloween. This board is not canceling Halloween. Don't think it's our job to address that. I think Halloween will go on as normal, 10/31/20 from 6 to 8. road projects coming along at Stearns and Secor. That was a partnership with the DDA and the Road Commission. They partnered, I think, $125,000 towards that project. You know, I think it's an ultra thin overlay what's going on right now over there. So it's a good maintenance job for that. And I just so the public knows, again, that the government center is fully open, and we are there every day. You know, we have been open for appointments for a while now, but finally we're open, so we're able to have people come in and you know, also still use the drive-through. So everything is working out very well. So other than that, anybody else have any comments? Okay, we stand adjourned.